Hi, my name is Darren Joseph from HTJ.tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify that sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today we have the honor and privilege of having another conversation with Leonardo. Leonardo, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, Darren, thank you very much for having me. I'd like to start by saying hello to everyone that is watching. My name is Leonardo Marques Sanchez. Just call me Leo, it's easier. I'm a tax lawyer, a tax partner in a law firm in Portugal, also a tax law professor at the Portuguese Catholic University. My main areas of focus at this point are national, domestic and international issues pertaining to individuals. So I think that's a little bit of what we are going to discuss today, right?
All right, fantastic. So the split year is possible, which of course is, as you said, is a good news story. But what if so I imagine that'll be easier if someone moves to Portugal after summer, right? So they spend fewer than 183 days. But let's say they move it towards the beginning of the year, maybe February or March, and therefore they cross the 183-day threshold for the year. Would they still be allowed to elect that split year?
Yes, I mean, Portugal, as I think many other countries, will adopted a corpus criteria, meaning that if you stay for an extended period of time in Portugal, you will become resident. It's sort of an objective criterion. But we have a secondary criterion, I mean, secondary in terms of list, but it's as important as the first, where even if you stay for less than 183 days, you will still become resident in Portugal for tax purposes if your habitual residence is in Portugal. So you don't actually have to stay for the 183 days to become resident. You will become resident as of your first day of stay in Portugal, provided that you have an habitual residence here. So it's the split year will apply and will be, so the residence, in essence, what will happen is if you move in the middle of the year, beginning or end, but it's not in the 1st of January, what will happen is you may, in fact, have a dual residency status. So let's assume for a second that you have a residence in Portugal that you rent. So you have income from Portuguese sources that you should report because the source is in Portugal. So there should be source taxation in Portugal on that. But after a while, it's like to move to Portugal. And let's say it happens in March, as you were saying. So after March, you relocate to Portugal, you occupy a residence, a house, either under a lease or your former secondary home as a primary residence, and you'll become resident as of that moment on. So split year applies as a rule, has a few exceptions that we always need to pay attention. For instance, in the case of crew members or in the case of public servants that are working for Portugal, the split year will not apply. Also, in the year of departure, if you live in Portugal, it may not apply if you relocate to a tax haven or if, for instance, you try to avoid taxation in Portugal by deferring the realization of some income that would be taxable in Portugal but will not be taxable elsewhere. So there are a few exceptions that we need to pay attention, but as a rule, we do have the split year. It typically works in a very easy way because when you relocate to Portugal, you register your residence with the Portuguese tax authorities. So in fact, you or your attorney will go to tax authorities, either face-to-face or digitally, and they will register your residence. So at least as of that moment, you're basically declaring to the tax authorities that I want to set my habitual residence in Portugal. So at least as of that moment, typically you're considered resident for tax purposes.
Thank you very much for that. That's pretty comprehensive. Leo, if people wanted to get in touch with you, to hire yourself, to hire your team, what's the best way to find you?
I think I can be easily found on Google. So just Google my name, Leonardo Marques Sanchez, and I think the law firm, Miranda's law firm website will immediately pop up with my email addresses. That will be easier. I'm easy to find.
All right, fantastic. Thank you.